The ways of the universe are impenetrable. That's something I've learned after all these years. My breathing was heavy, my body slow. It felt like I was made of lead, and the air that came out of my lungs was boiling hot. My whole body was filled with fear. It was in my head and my nerves. Every fiber and every cell that my body was made of was filled with this horrible, annoying, gnawing feeling we recognize as fear. Why? That is the question I ask myself. Why? Or a better question might be, what am I fearing? What makes me feel so desperate? I had slept for a while, but I finally woke up because of a nightmare. In my nightmare, I stood in an empty street, of which I couldn't get away from. There were many voices telling me that I was worthless, just a useless human being. This is a clear symptom of schizophrenia, a mental disorder from which I luckily didn't suffer from. The explanation for why I carried this burden just wasn't there. Later in the dream, the street started to sink in a black swirling mass that tried to grab hold of me. My attempt of struggle were nothing to the thing trying to get hold of me. As it was holding me, I felt a haze of desperation come over me. The last thing of the dream that I can remember were the dark claws coming straight at my right eye. I stared at the clock in my room. It was 2:30 in the morning. The darkness still filled the streets as it did in my head. Somehow I had the urge to take a walk in this cold October night. I decided not to though, because there was a chance that she might find me. The next day I decided, after a lot of mental struggle, to attempt to take a walk in town. I really didn't like people. My feelings around them were unpleasant. I found people unpredictable and way too careless. They were, with my well-meant apologies, not able to understand in what kind of situation I were in. I walked through town, enjoying the emptiness in my head, until the emptiness was brutally disturbed. In my own clumsiness, I bumped into an older lady. I apologized in the hope that no other way of contact would be necessary. A long time I have been searching for you, young man, and now the universe has brought you to me, she said. It took me a while to process what she said. Images of me as a toddler came into my mind. All these old memories that I buried away. Images of a time where I didn't know how the world worked. Images of myself who was laying on an operation table and an unknown man bent above me. My deepest instinct told me, or actually it screamed to me, run. Get away from this place. Don't come close to this woman. But my body wouldn't listen. The older woman spoke to me with a voice full of comfort and calmness. Don't be afraid, young man. I don't mean harm. On the contrary, I am here to help you break the chains of fear that torture your life. I looked at her with disbelief. How? This was the only thing that came out of my mouth. A strange smile appeared on her face. She looked at me strangely. Words couldn't describe the stare. Without any explanation, I decided to trust her. She signed me to follow her. She took the first exit right and walked into a little shop. I was amazed when we took the exit. The whole surrounding changed to something that looked more of a small village. My brain tried to process what just happened, but after a short period, I realized that this was something much bigger than I could understand in any way. The older woman led me to a little shop. Its sign was written in Gothic letters. It said, "Hypnosis for trauma patients. Lessons in the laws of the universe." Hypnosis? The universe? I began to question what was happening. After I walked into this unknown room, I was led to a chair. A warm cup of tea was waiting for me on a little table. After she poured herself a cup of tea, she explained to me where I was. This little shop is outside the physical world. Man could say that this place only exists for people who truly need it, she told me. The first thing of our world, where you also are, is that the universe is a goddess. She is the one that makes everything what happens happen. And she is the one that makes the thing we call fate. Sadly, there is one huge threat to her. An old titan, a creature from before our time, whose only soul of existence is to destroy everything. This creature we know as emptiness. I nodded understandingly while I calmly sipped my tea. I waved that she could go on with her story. Normally I would be very skeptic, but the fact that I trust her helped her credibility. The same thing applies to me. After my service is completed, it would be impossible for me to exist, just like this place. So make sure that you go as far away as possible from this place when we are done. I nodded again. But why am I here? I asked calmly yet interested. The woman smiled. I am sent here by the universe to help you. Soon you will see that of all of the people who know of your existence, you yourself know the least of the things that stamped your fate. There is a reason why your right eye hurts when you lose your patience. As there is a reason that those rugged red lines appear around that same eye when anger overtakes you. Somewhere I was surprised that this unknown woman knew my deepest secrets. In my memories, I saw myself looking in the mirror after I was angry, like a long time ago also happened. There are 8 glowing red lines that ran right over my face into my right eye. There is no question over the fact that you are special. At an early age you suffered a great pain that blocked all the memories you had in the form of self-defense. I am going to put you under a certain state of hypnosis that will bring back those memories. If you want me to do it though, I will do this because it is better for you to know who and what you are. For once, I actually didn't worry. I nodded and told her that I would give her my complete cooperation. She made me lay in an old wooden bed. She told me to close my eyes and to breathe slowly. She held her hands above my head and my underbelly. After a few breaths, I felt myself fall into this abyss. There was nothing but darkness around me. The absence of light felt like black threads around my limbs. The acceleration of my body falling was enough to lower my whole being into fear. My word, on that moment were like all my actions. They achieved nothing. My stare went over a new but still old scenario that appeared right in front of me. A man with a scalpel in his hand, bent above me. My attempts of protest were repressed on the operation table on which I was stuck. It was impossible for me to move my head. In the man's left hand was a small see-through stone. He laid down the stone on a small sterilized table, and with the same hand he held my eyelids on my right eye open. He brought the scalpel closer. I started panicking, which made me hyperventilate. A silver flash and a pain went right through my skull with an intensity I could never imagine. With my left eye, I saw how the man put this stone into my eye. After another enormous hit of pain, I blacked out. I woke up from this hypnosis. After seeing all of this again, I understood where my fearful personality comes from. I tried to sit upright, but the woman stopped me. The biggest energy source in existence is inside your right eye. The little stone is made of pure chaos. Do what you want with what I just told you. The universe knows that you will do the right thing with it. At my surprise, I saw the woman fade away, just like everything around me. And I thought it would be a great idea to get away from this place as quick as possible. When I was outside the shop, I looked above me and saw a gigantic emptiness. One thing the woman didn't tell me was how to get out of here. I kept running in the hope to find a way out. Then suddenly, I felt it. The emptiness picked me up like a child that has dropped her doll. I was dragged upwards and without mercy was brought to the head of the emptiness. It stared right into my eyes with a stare full of hunger, like it wanted to tear the whole world apart. My body was paralyzed at the sight of this enormous titan. There was nothing that was in my range to get out of here. But then I felt my whole body protest, and the crazy idea that this little stone of pure chaos might help me. But there was no time to slowly think about it. Well, according to the woman, this little stone was the biggest source of power, and it was implanted right into my right eye. And this would be the great time to use it. After my rage manifested my whole body, and red lines appeared on my face. A huge stream of pure energy ascended down into the emptiness. This stream was strong enough to set me free, but the shop was already destroyed. I blinked and I was back in the world protected by the universe. I was lucky, but I also understood that I am the chosen one to receive this gift. I was now the only one that can stop the emptiness. And in this, I am truly alone.